The alarm rings. It is cold and dark outside. My body is so sore that getting out of bed physically hurts. The first thought I used to have every morning when I woke up was, what if I didn't go today? But at some point, this nagging thought faded away, and I would go train, no matter how I felt, what the weather was like, or how busy I was. Good afternoon. My name is Paul Jacot, as so well pronounced. I am a master's student here at HSG, and I am an Olympian who represented Switzerland at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics for rowing. I started rowing 16 years ago and spent the last 3 years rowing professionally with the Swiss rowing team. I'm here today to talk to you about perseverance and the impact you can have on the environment. What I call perseverance is the ability to make a choice and stick with it. When I decided to dedicate my life to rowing and towards going to the Olympics 3 years ago, I signed up for 3 trainings a day from Wednesday to Sunday and working in an office on Mondays and Tuesdays. But perseverance isn't only present in sports. I may be new here at HSG, but I've heard stories of students waking up at 6 a.m. for weeks during the Lernphase to get a seat at the library. So I'll talk to you more specifically about perseverance in doing the small things right, because no action is too small to matter. As a rower, I know a bit about small gestures. If my math is correct, I've taken about 3 million individual strokes in my life, and I probably wouldn't have gotten into the Olympics with less. As a fun fact, it takes 10 plastic bottles to make one t-shirt. So just imagine how many t-shirts I would have if I had recycled a bottle for each stroke I took. So why do people not necessarily persevere in doing the small things right? Why do New Year's Eve resolutions rarely make it into February? Well, the first reason may be that we think our actions don't matter. Keep something in mind that I like to call the ripple effect. Whatever you do, you will have an impact on others. I used to train with guys that were both worse and better than me, because the guys below me would push me to get better, and I would in turn push the guys above me to be better. And the same holds true in the real world. Anyone can have an impact on their household, their corporation, or even their government. Another reason as to why people may not persevere in doing the small things right might be that they don't see the big picture. They may think, yeah, I've been doing something right every day for years, and I don't see any change. What's the point? Well, as a rower, I would repeat the same movement over and over again. And the only time I saw improvement was when I compared video from one season to the next. So setting very measurable objectives for oneself is crucial here. Another reason people might not be persevering in doing the small things right is they may be discouraged by others and think, what's the point of me doing something right if big nations aren't cutting their emissions? As an athlete, I sometimes struggled with the question, what's the point of me training if I suspect other nations to be doping? Try to link your goals and motivations to emotions, because they will keep you going when your rational mind doesn't see the point anymore. You don't need a rational motivation for everything. On the contrary, emotions are sometimes stronger. And the last reason why people may not be persevering in doing the small things right is because they might not be inspired yet. But you can let yourself be inspired. I guess you guys all know that already because you're here today. So when I started rowing, my parents did not know anything about the sport. And I'm pretty sure that by now, half the views my races have on YouTube are from my mom. So in March 2020, when the Olympics were postponed, I actually quit and retired from the sport. The only reason I came back is because my teammates convinced me that our story wasn't over yet. I let myself be inspired. So once you've found motivation to carry out a change, it is crucial to persevere to turn it into a habit. There is a famous quote that goes, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. The person who said it was Gandhi, and he knew a lot about perseverance, seeing as his longest hunger strike lasted 21 days. As mentioned at the beginning of this speech, it took a while, but after some time, the first thought I had in the morning was no longer, what if I didn't go today? But rather something along the lines of, what's for breakfast? Being sore and tired had become the new normal. Only with perseverance can you turn actions into habits. I bet you all know someone who went vegan for a month and then quit. But for those who stuck with it and persevered, they probably told you it all got much easier once they managed to change their dietary habits. So if you persevere long enough, you will stop considering alternative options. Vegans stop browsing the non-vegan alleys in the supermarket, just like my friends stopped asking me if I wanted to go out for a beer on Friday night, because the answer was always, sorry, I can't. I have to train early tomorrow. So the more you persevere, the less options you have to consider. And any half-decent student will tell you that they prefer a multiple-choice questionnaire with 2 options rather than 10. When you came here this morning or this afternoon, you probably did not expect that you would go home with homework. But I hope this speech made you want to make a change, no matter how small, and stick with it. Perseverance is a universal tool that goes beyond sports and is crucial to turn a change into a habit. So remember, no change is too small to matter, and only with perseverance can you turn it into a habit. Change does get easier, I promise.